Hello, everyone. Welcome to this information session for orientation about academic life at CSUSB. So to discuss what we will be looking at today, we will be looking at all the different academic pieces of California State University, San Bernardino. We'll talk about academic advisors, professors, expectations in the classroom, and some resources on campus for your academics. For the undergraduate programs at the university, they are divided between 5 different academic colleges. An academic college is a grouping of similar topic majors, and they are overseen by a dean, and which is overseen by the provost of the university. So you'll be able to find your major here, or if you want to look for your major on our website, you can search your major's name and it'll pull up the degree program and also the academic college it is a part of. For the master's programs, it's a very similar type of grouping. In your academic studies, you will be assigned someone who is called an academic advisor. This is typically a faculty member or a staff member in your department. For a lot of undergraduate students, this will be a staff member. There are a few academic programs that will have a faculty member advise students, especially closer to graduation. For master's degrees, it is a lot of times a faculty member, though you will find there are a couple of programs where there is a staff member advisor. Your academic advisor is there to help you with your course registration, looking through the schedule to identify which courses you need in the schedule for that semester to graduate on time. They are your point of contact if you need any support in your enrollment, if you're having trouble with your classes. If you go on to academic probation, they will be your point of contact, and then also registering for your proper classes. In your last semester, as you prepare to graduate, they will also assist you with the graduation application. The graduation application is a requirement of the university in order for the academic provost to be able to review all of your completed coursework and to confirm that the degree can be awarded at the end of the semester. Your professors at the university here in the United States have a very unique type of culture that may be a little different from your previous studies outside of the United States. US professors have a expectation of sharing information to their class, but also to discuss information as a larger group. They see you as an emerging colleague and expert in the field, and that you'll be taking their place someday to continue teaching or sharing information in your subject. And so they want you to have an open discussion forum and share different opinions in the classroom to be able to exchange those different ideas with your fellow students. They expect you to participate in the class, not to just sit and listen to them talk. They want to hear your thoughts on things. They will have an expectation that your assignments will be done at the start of class. When you go into your classroom, do make sure that you greet your professor. We recommend that you ask your professor how they'd like to be addressed. Some professors go on a first name basis. Others like to be referred to by their last name. And also, as you go into these classrooms, make sure that you are participating. A lot of times, part of your grade is based on your active participation in class. Make sure that you arrive to class on time. There are some professors who will not allow a student to come into the classroom late unless they have a written explanation as to why. Pay attention in your class, submit your work on time, ask questions, and also turn off your cell phone and keep your cell phone out of sight during class. For the classroom culture, like we talked about with the professors, it is a very participatory culture, exchanging ideas, discussing things in the classroom together, not just taking notes and listening to the professor. It'll be a combination of projects and exams typically, and you'll find out that information from the syllabus for that specific class. But a lot of courses in the United States are going to be kind of multifaceted, not just a grade solely based upon retention of information through an exam. Be prepared to discuss the topic at hand for that specific class. You'll find on the syllabus that you'll be given at the start of the semester, it'll have information about what will be discussed in every class, the expected readings that you'll need to prepare before the class. That way you are able to be actively in the discussions for that specific class section. Be prepared to offer an opinion about the subject matter, whatever the discussion point will be for the class. Even if that opinion may differ from the professor's opinion, they do want to hear your thought process in coming to that conclusion. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have the wrong answer, but they just want to hear how you come to that conclusion. Ask questions about the subject in your class. If you need your professor to repeat or slow down a specific area of what he's discussing, do ask your professor, raise your hand and ask that. Attend office hours when they're available if you need to clarify anything else with your professor, and then also use your email to ask questions. Make sure when you do email, you email through the university email account. That is the email account that professors expect to see those questions from their students. When citing sources in the United States, the US academic culture does have a high expectation that all pieces of information that are coming from someone else, not of yourself, needs to be cited with the proper citation. Different professors in different academic areas may have different expectations on the type of citation that you'll be using, whether it's MLA or APA, for example. Do ask your professor what citation they prefer if it's not listed on the syllabus. And if you're not sure how to cite a source with that specific type of citation, do ask your professor or ask the resource department in the library. And plagiarism at the university is something that they take very seriously. Plagiarism is using someone else's words or ideas without crediting that person properly. So examples of that would be turning in someone else's work as your own, or copying a certain number of words or ideas from a source without giving credit, or any type of picking and pulling from different pieces of content, copying and pasting different areas without properly citing and sourcing that together. Academic resources on campus, you will find a lot of different departments that offer different academic support through your studies here at the university. Of course, the Center for International Studies and Programs, we will be a resource for you if you have any questions, of course, about your immigration status, but also if you have any questions about advising or who to go to for academic support, we'd be happy to get you connected to the right resources on campus. The Student Mentoring Program is available for undergraduate students. It partners undergraduate students with a current CSUSB student who has been at the university for at least 1 year to serve as your mentor and to help support you through your first year at CSUSB. So this will be academic support, helping you find, a tutor if you need a tutor, or going to the writing resource, but then also they are there to help navigate other areas of campus, like getting your bus pass at campus or things like that. Supplemental instruction is a free session for certain sections of courses to be able to meet in a small group and review course material. So you'll see this a lot of times for courses that are maybe the first or second year courses at the university for students. And they bring together students that are from several different sections or just one section of the specific course to be able to review notes together and study together. The Writing Center is available for all students if you have questions about citation and formatting, or if you want someone to just scan over a paper and give some feedback before you turn it into your professor. We recommend that if you are going to be utilizing the Writing Center's resources, you will want to submit a draft to them to be reviewed at least 1 week before you are supposed to turn in that paper. They do need to have some time for their writing specialists to be able to review it and give you feedback before you are required to turn that into your class. And then the tutoring office, which is also called Coyote Plus, they offer tutoring in a lot of the foundational first or second year courses in a lot of different subjects. You'll see an example here of some of the subjects that they offer tutoring to. So a few tips for your first semester. The first tip there is to read over the syllabus for each class in the first week. Your syllabus is going to be your roadmap to what the expectations are for that class, what you will need to do in order to get a good grade in that class. And so it's really important to read over exactly how this professor is going to be structuring the final grade. Will it be more exam intensive, more project based, more paper based? That way you know what you'll need to do to complete that course successfully. From that syllabus, write all of the major assignments and tests in a planner or a calendar. You can set up alerts on your phone calendar, so that way you have information, you have it all mapped out for all of your classes of when all of the major pieces are due. We do find for some students, they will also make notes as to when they want a first draft ready to go to a writing center, or when they would like to have kind of a final review study session for a test. They'll put those in their calendar as well, not just the date of the test. We also recommend that you sit in the front row in your classes. It's a very uncommon thing for students to do. It's very intimidating, but studies have shown that students who sit in the first two rows of a class typically do get better grades than students who sit in the back. And that's in part because you are face to face right in front with your professor. There's no distractions, and that you are able to be really engaged in the class from start to finish. If you would like to record your professor's lectures so that way you can listen back after the class to kind of go through, make sure there's no other notes that you want to notate down, do ask your professor before class starts or before the first day of class. You can email them or meet them in their office. Ask if you can record the class. A lot of our professors are okay with students doing an audio recording of the lectures, but they do need to give consent to that before you start recording a class. We also recommend that you make American friends in each of your classes. American students have gone through this education system. They're very used to kind of the balance of classroom discussions, writing papers and doing group projects and those types of things. And so they'd be able to kind of walk you through if you have questions, be study partners preparing for the test, those types of things. And if you have any other questions throughout the entire time that you are studying for that semester, meet with your professor during office hours, or if you're unable to meet during those office hours, ask them over email if there's other times that you can connect with them. And to save the date for International Student Orientation, the orientation will take place on August 18th. It is mandatory for all new international students to attend orientation. We will have academic advisors and faculty members at the orientation there as well, to be able to share more information and to be able to meet you in person before your classes start. And if you have any questions for us, you will find our contact details here at the Center for International Studies and Programs. Feel free to connect with us over email or through social media with any questions that you may have prior to your arrival to the United States. And that is everything for today. Thank you very much for listening in, and any questions that you have, feel free to connect with us directly.